Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Rafael McMaster. I'm here at the Resin Creative Labs in Hermosa Beach. This is our 11th episode, and we will be talking about connection. So, to go back to what we've been talking about in the previous episodes, we've talked through this set of tools of acceptance, awareness, intention, gratitude, compassion, forgiveness, and now we're on to connection. And we're talking about not just what it means as a definition, but how to use it as a tool. How do I use connection in my daily life as a tool? And so for this conversation, we're going to delineate between three different kinds of connection. And we're just going to touch on this, and further episodes will drill into each one deeper. But to talk about how we're thinking about connection as a concept. So we're going to say connection in three different ways. The first is connection to myself, right? Taking the time to reflect, understanding myself, having a sense of rigorous honesty with myself, right? Connection to each other as the second one. Looking in each other's eyes, that energy of not just being around someone, but actually connecting with them. And then the last one is just connection to a higher power, right? And all of those, quite honestly, happen. There's like a fourth sense of connection, which is connecting to this present moment, connecting to our breath through the present moment. So let's talk about each one of these now separately, each of those three types of connection. Connection to ourself through reflection. Know thyself. They say that one of the things that's been eradicated with the cell phone is reflection. For this simple reason. If I'm in an elevator for 90 seconds, am I going to stop and reflect for a moment? Or am I just going to be like, oh, quick phone, Facebook, this, that, Instagram, whatever. A quick looking for a quick little pick-me-up, dopamine hit, something that's positive. Totally understand that. In fact, I do it myself the same. And in hearing that quote, though, that was the turning point for me where I say, I'm going to make the conscious decision to reflect. And with that, to help myself out with it, I began creating specific moments in time for myself. So I wake up at like 5:45, and by 6 o'clock, I'm sitting on the upstairs couch with a cup of coffee, reflecting, right? I have different consistent existence structures throughout the day, which require me to stop and reflect throughout the day, and at the end of the night, reviewing and reflecting upon the day. Now, that may seem like a lot, and a person doesn't necessarily need to start there, but by just having some point where you make a decision that you're going to reflect at this time each day, there's a tremendous amount of power in that. You know, they say the first step in any sort of change, growth, or transformation is awareness. The awareness that you want to change. The awareness that, oh my gosh, I have this problem. The awareness, wow, I really let that slip. Let me work on this, right? So that self-awareness, that self-reflection, and the deeper I go down this rabbit hole of connecting to myself, the more fascinating and amazing and really fulfilling it becomes to really understand myself better and better. All right, so that's the first, connection to myself through reflection. The next is connection to each other. Now, I love making eye contact with someone and smiling. In fact, I love it so much. Me and my dad have a standing phone call every morning at 6:25 where we talk about the most important thing in our day is to smile and make contact with others, right? And he even bought me for Christmas a clicker. So as I go throughout the day, it's easy to track and click them. And so me and him both track our numbers and we send them back and forth, and it keeps each other, keeps myself, keeps ourselves into this flow of making it important and keeping it important to be in contact with others. I think that's one of the most challenging parts to these pandemic and COVID realities is that we're not getting that connection, in-person connection. And I think that's in part how we naturally recharge. I know for myself, that's how I recharge my energetic system, is getting to be around people. And not just physically being around them, but really connecting. You know, looking into the blacks of each other's eyes and taking a moment and being totally present. There's a magic to that. And with the amount that I use my phone and technology, there has been slippage in my behavioral patterns and habits to where I am looking at my phone sometimes and I just want to be here. So I'm going to continue to work on that, right? Connection to each other. And service as a really meaningful and impactful way to connect with one another. And we'll talk about service more in a second here. The last form of connection, right? So if we were talking about 3 forms of connection to ourselves, reflecting the present moment, connection to each other, and then connection to higher power or whatever it is that you believe controls or governs the universe, right? So if you believe it's God, if you believe it's higher power, if you believe it's the laws of science, whatever it is, being able to get quiet enough to be able to connect to whatever it is that you feel governs and controls this universe, that source, that divine matrix, that Mother Earth, whatever it is for you. I find that meditating and praying are the 2 most effective pathways for me to really deepen my relationship with my higher power. And I never meditated regularly until maybe 5 or 6 years ago when I made a decision I was going to do it every day, every morning, at least 12 minutes a day. And it has totally changed how I experience reality, not just for doing a meditation for where I feel calm and it feels good, it feels nice in the moment. And I am learning, my subconscious, conscious, entire system is learning to be able to sit with itself and not have to be reacting, responding, thinking any of those things. And telling my subconscious and my neurological wiring, cool, this is the program we're running. Become stronger at not having to respond, react, think, or whatever. And being able to be the observer, watching my thoughts or my non-thoughts or my breathing, has developed my strength at being able to respond. When something happens, instead of me reacting, I have observation of my thoughts, and then I'm able to respond. And so they say it regular meditation increases the space and the gap between impulse and response, even when you're not meditating. So that's one. And the second is praying. Now also, praying is not something I did before 5 or 6 years ago. And for me, really what I do is I just place my hand on my heart, I close my eyes, I get silent. If I can, I tap into gratitude for everything I have and a vision for what I hope to bring into my life. Say prayers for people I'm thinking about and caring about. And at first I felt like I must be doing this wrong because I'm making it up. It turns out there's no wrong way to meditate or pray. To just get quiet, not be distracted, get quiet, and do our best to connect with whatever it is this universe is made of. The magic's right there. And if it feels like you're not doing it right, I invite you and urge you, just keep doing it. Just keep doing it every day. And I found that my relationship to reality, my relationship to my higher power, my relationship to spirituality just shifted. But it took the commitment of doing it days. So if you ever find a place, a 5 to 10 minute space in your day where you can begin to commit to deepen your relationship, my relationship to the universe, I really, really invite you to do it. It can make such a shift, right? So those are the 3. Connection to myself through reflection, connection to this present moment, connection to each other through smiling and eye contact and service. When I'm doing anything of service to be there for another person, I can't hold my own service and my own suffering at the same time. I can only hold one of them. So if I'm really suffering, I'll go out and be of service, even if it's just a smile and eye contact, because by being in service, I'm automatically not hanging on to my own stresses and my own suffering. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what I'm shooting for, to be able to have tools so that I'm not suffering. I'm not irritated, I'm not frustrated, I'm at peace because I'm being there for others. And this tool of connection really helps me get there. So I hope this has been helpful. And until next time, free your mind.